We must create. Now, that is a statement that I am making because it's something that I believe it definitely applies to me. And I'm going to sort of lay out a reasoning that I think it applies to all of us. And by must create, I mean that we absolutely must be doing the doing of our talent. I think that art itself is not an act. It's not that you're painting, or it's not that you're drawing or singing or dancing or whatever the thing is. I don't think that's the art. I think the art is the essence of what's in your heart. And I think that it comes out of us as individuals in all kinds of different ways. And even if we were all painters, we'd all paint different styles, different things. Look at Talina's work. She paints on herself or canvas. Oh, hey, my dad's here. He wrote, "Hi, Bob. My dad's in the group." I put my dad in the group so that he could hang out with me on lives. I'm ignoring everybody else, but I'm going to say hi to my dad. So if you see Robert Donahue in the group, that's my dad. Hi, Dad. So the rest of you, I'll say hello at the end. Where was I? Thanks, Dad. I'm kidding. So I think art is what comes out of your heart. I think that it's the essence of who we are as artists, and I don't think we have a choice. I think that's the art. I think that the problem comes when we don't do the art. That's the doing part. That's the creating something. That's the, what am I going to draw or paint or make or sing or whatever. And I have noticed from being guilty of doing this that it creates stress in life, and it kind of holds you back from getting to where you want to be. And that's part of the reason that I created this group, because I just once and for all want to be doing what I want to be doing instead of doing what I think I should be doing because that's what everybody says I should be doing, or that's what my coaches say I should be doing, or my colleagues say I should be doing, or whatever, right? So I think that we get disconnected from the doing of the art, but if you notice, the heart part, that never stops. We can't help it. We always have this longing to do it, we stop doing it, but we never stop being it, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to tell you a story. It goes back a few years. When I was in college, I joined a band. I was a singer. I grew my hair out. It was awesome, right? We played all over Long Island, New York City. We made CDs. It was so much fun. And it was really, really great. And I felt at the time that I wanted to be doing something like that for the rest of my life. And I got married, and I was still doing it when I was married. I kind of had a falling out with one of the band members, and I left the band. But when I left the band, I immediately started a new project, a solo project. The bass player from my old band came with me, and we started working on some new stuff. And this was like I was focused on music at this point. I also was running my own business doing web design, and around that project with that bass player didn't seem to work out, and I would let things get in the way, like, oh gee, I got this big client project to do, and so I'm not going to work on the music this week, or I have this thing to do, or we had a kid, and so I'm not going to work on the music this year, right? And then we moved to Florida, and so suddenly now we're trying to sell our house and move to Florida and buy another house down there. And so that whole year I was like, well, I gotta put music on the back burner because that doesn't make money and it's not responsible, and I gotta do my business and I gotta figure out all this stuff, and everybody needs to eat every day. It's annoying, right? All this stuff. So before you know it, a decade goes by that I'm not working on my music. Now, I would work on my music occasionally, like I'd have an afternoon I finished something early and I'd like take Logic out and or GarageBand, whatever I was working in at the time, and start playing on my computer. And before you knew it, I had like all these songs kind of put together, the music-wise, like written and all this stuff. But the interesting thing was that like I stopped doing the doing of music, but my heart never stopped making music. I was writing songs all the time. They just never stopped coming out of me. I wrote more songs. I wrote songs I've forgotten because I would get home and be like, oh, I gotta write that down, or I gotta sing it or something like that. And then I get home, I couldn't remember how it went. And it was frustrating. And that's why I mentioned the other day, I don't use a lot of apps, but one app that I use is Evernote, because Evernote, I have it on my phone and I can just sing into my phone a melody, and then I never forget it because I've got melodies in there going years back now that I still haven't turned into a song. So what do you call it? So this I was noticing was happening to me a lot, and now we moved to Florida. I'm not in Florida anymore. I'm back in New York, and we've been living here now for like 12 years. Still haven't done the music, and it's like this has to end. I can't. I'll go my whole life not doing what I want to do if I'm not careful. So that's why I'm starting this group. And if you look at my stuff on Fuel Blue, it's all about my art now, because that's who I am. So I'm turning what I do into who I am, instead of this is who I am, but this is what I do to make money, because that's what people think I should do, and it's easier to explain, because I'm a web designer. Everybody gets that, instead of, well, I make films and I make music and I make this and I make that. Well, how does that make money? I don't freaking know. Leave me the hell alone. I'll figure that part out. And here's how I figured out how to figure that part out. Here's what I realized. We kind of live, tell me if this makes sense to you, right? We kind of live in this cycle of life. Like, you have your ups and you have your downs. So if you imagine, like I've done this before, like a wave. Now, you have this limit that you're not going to let yourself get higher than in life. You got the ceiling, And then you have this floor that you're just not going to allow yourself to get lower than. And if you think about most of your life, most of the time you never go below that floor and you never get higher than that ceiling. And that could be in relationships, it could be financially, it could be whatever, the thing is for you that you're going up and down in a lot in life. For me, it was always money. I've always had a very good marriage with my wife. My home life and my family have always been very happy and healthy, and health has never really been an issue here. So those buckets, I kind of got the grip on those buckets. The money bucket was always the one for me that was always like tricky. Like, how do I make money and live the kind of life I want? And it's not like, we're broke and poor or anything like that, but it's just like, I have this kind of desire to be on a certain level, but I always have this ceiling, and I never really understood why this ceiling was, because I'd see other people with web design businesses going right through that ceiling. There's no ceiling. What are you talking about? And I didn't understand it. I was like, why is there this ceiling here for me? Here's what I figured out. The ceiling wasn't because of the work I was doing. The ceiling was because I had this idea that I am going to work and make money so that I can live the life that I want and have the time that I want to do to make music. That is completely freaking backwards. That's kind of like if a friend says to you, when I find a boyfriend or a girlfriend, then I'll be happy. When I lose weight, then I'll be happy. When I do this thing, then I'll be happy. And I was literally living my life. When I'm figure out, how to make money, then I'll be happy, and then I can do the thing that I want to do. And now I'm saying, screw that. I'm doing the thing that I want to do. And that will create the time to figure out the business. I have a lot of things figured out. I'm not going into the details of how it makes money today in this thing. What I'm trying to do is sort of just get across the point that we have to create. We have to do our art. I'm not saying that you have to make a living doing art, but what I'm saying is that you have to find the time to express that creativity, because if you don't, what you're doing is you're squeezing it inside and it's going to crush you somewhere and you're not going to like it. It's going to stink. So don't do it. So that's what I'm doing. As time goes by in this group, the business model around what I'm doing will become more evident. Just a heads up, I'm not leaning towards like a course or anything like that. I'm not trying to get everybody in my thing so that suddenly now I can try and get you to give me money. I'm actually trying to do the opposite of that. But I'm not going to get too deep into that today. That's not the point. The point is to find out what that thing in your heart is that you should be doing to let it out, and then actually let it out. We are always being artists. We need to do the artist part too. Wow. Okay, I'm going to pause it here and go to the comments, because I've been hearing the clicking, and there are a lot there, and I see some people that I want to say hello to, so hopefully you're all here. Amy is hi from the UK, and Blake is hi. Hello, Blake. Stephanie, hello. Can hear you. Thank you. Appreciate that. My dad was here. I said hi already. Can't hear you, speak louder. Thanks, Dan. Blake says, yes, we are drawn to creation. Yeah, right? And Aid says, hi. Hi. How you doing? Danielle's here. I'm here. What's up, Bobby? Hi, Danielle. It's nice to see you. Hey, thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I appreciate that. That was a nice surprise. And Brandy is here. Hello, Brandy. And Blake is here. There were years between trying to write. Now, retired from corporate world and can write. Just launched book number 4, writing book number 9. Good for you, Blake. You're a very inspirational person, Blake. I'm always happy that you're around, and you keep me on my toes, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. And Kirsten is here. Hello, how are you? I feel the urgency to do art every day, but have the exact same fears, ready to take the leap. Yeah, right? There's the fear. There's that fear that, for me, the fear sounded like this. I can't do this right now because I have responsibilities as a husband, father, business owner, blah, 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 fill in the blank, whatever role it is that you're playing, right? I have these responsibilities, so I can't go play. I can't go, right? Music is, or art or whatever, is always like play, or it's seen as not, isn't it always interesting that whenever the government or whoever, things are tight on money, what's the first thing to go? Oh, we got to cut spending, so let's cut the arts program, right? Do you know what the arts program is? The arts program is how to be a human. That's what the arts program is. The arts program is how to imagine a better world, how to live in beauty. That's what arts is. Who wants to cut that? But why do we do it? As soon as something's tight, as soon as something's hard, we like, oh, I gotta cut that crap out, and I gotta figure out how to do this by working, right? Instead of using my soul and my spirit and just like letting it all pour out of me. I don't get it. All right, well, anyway, that's that fear, right? Brandy says, that is what I am doing. I love typos in comments because I read them just as you type them. That's what I'm doing, just doing what I am. Yeah, Brandy, right? It's you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, well, maybe I should learn how to paint in this style, or maybe I should take lessons on how to do this thing that I've never done before. Even if art is just and I just do this for art, right? Whatever it is. Even if it's just a hobby for you. I've seen some people in this group who we're not all like professional painters or whatever trying to, I'm a professional and I'm trying to build a business and a audience around my art. But that doesn't mean everybody has to be, But we all have something that wants to just kind of come out of us, and maybe it's therapy for some of us. Maybe for some of us, it's just find some time and draw or paint or dance or something, and it's just personal therapy, regardless of whether there's a business or an audience attached to it. So good for you, Brandy. Blake says, excellent point about priorities. Did I say that? Well, thank you. I'm sure it was an excellent point. I don't remember what I said. Aid says, this is what the group is for. Smiley face. I'm in the same boat. We know we have a talent, but we fear failure, right? That's where the spiritual part comes into play. When we realize that we create our own reality, we can manifest whatever we want. See, I didn't need to do this live. I could have just read that comment, and that's the gist of the whole thing. We fear failure. We fear ridicule. We fear whatever. And maybe it was drilled into our heads by well-intentioned people that you can't do that. That's not a thing you can do to make a living. You have to go and do this thing. And maybe nobody actually said it to you. Nobody told me that. I'm glad my dad's here today because I grew up in a house where I was allowed to do or be or imagine being anything I wanted to be. And I don't think I'd be this guy if I didn't live in that house growing up with my parents. So if you're still here, Dad, thank you. But I still lived on a planet in a world and went to schools with teachers and other kids and other people's parents who all would say things like, gotta go to school, get a job, get good grades, do this, do that, and then you go to, right? You gotta do the thing and toe the line. But doing the thing and towing the line doesn't work for artists. There's no line for us. We're supposed to color outside the lines. So yeah, good one, Aid. Blake, don't wait. Do your thing, ow. Do your thing now? I hope that's a now. I hope you didn't hurt yourself. Okay, now, there you go. Good. Kelly says, "Hey Kelly, how you doing? I'm glad you made it. I'm so glad there are people here because I was like, man, I hope I'm not doing this one to nobody because this one's gonna be like in the comments. I think. I'm glad you guys are here. When I don't express my art, soul, self, it's like my heart is being closed down. And open the hearts. Shared art is what is going to change the world. Open hearts is what's going to change the world." Yeah. So I was playing on the word heart, right? Heart. Art in heart. And I gotta slow down here a second. Whew, man, the energy from this is, I can't tell you. This like I ride on this for the rest of the night. If we're not expressing it, then we're holding it in. And if we're all holding it in and we're the creative ones, then what the heck's going on with the rest of the world, right? That's what 2020 is. It's a world that was just holding it all in. And the world just went, screw this crap, shut it down, figure it out, redo it. Reboot. That's what it's a reboot. Think of 2020 as a reboot, right? Well, let's not go into 2021 and the rest of time all like, well, hey, let's try what we did the last time. No, it didn't work. How about we go and, let it out. Let's figure out how to get it out there. It's our job to do that. Danielle says, "You're welcome." Thank you. I don't remember what I thanked you for, but thank you. Kelly again says, "That's the part that trips me up too. The feeling like I need to figure out a way to make money from it first, and then my logical brain grants permission to do it." Yeah, I know. I could riff on that 100,000 different ways, but I'm gonna move on. Aid says it's happening. Good. Danielle says it's so true. We need art as human beings. We really do. We really do. Brandy says, "Yes, Bobby." Cool. Kelly says, "Wow, you just explained the conditioning that makes us think that our soul's expression is expendable. Like it can just be cut off without repercussion. It's insane, but the way it is bombarded into our brain makes it seem rational." Yeah, right? It makes it seem rational because the entire world's been gaslighted into believing that we all need to do some kind of productive thing to make money so that we can drive the engine, the economy engine, so that we can then, have the time and the resources to do the thing that we want. The key word there being resources. What are resources? It's resource. Where does source come from? It comes from you. So what the hell do you need a job for to make money so that go out and spend it to get something that you already have? You already have it. It comes from here. What if instead we said, oh, and this goes back to this thing, right, where I was saying with that ceiling. The ceiling, we would shoot right past it if instead we kind of flipped the script and said, I'm going to work on my resources, and I'm going to, here's something I was thinking of. Oh, I'm glad you said this, because you just made me remember something I was saying to myself this morning that I forgot to write on my thing, and I want to say it. I used to think of it as putting something out into the world and then seeing what I get back. And today I thought of it a little bit differently. I started thinking of the world around me as a computer simulation. Go with me on this, right? Whether it is or it isn't doesn't matter, but just imagine that it is, right? And that I am the operator of this computer. So what do you know the old saying about like computers, garbage in, garbage out, right? So instead of thinking in terms of out from me into the world and then the world shows me stuff back, what I started thinking of, well, if the world is this computer, simulation, game, whatever word you want to use, what if it's what I'm putting in, the input, gets processed and then comes back to me as output, right? So if I'm putting out in garbage, I'm getting garbage back. Or if I'm putting in this thing that's got all these limitations built into it, like how many hours a week can I work? How many dollars per hour can I charge? Well, there's a freaking limit to that. I can't work 9 billion hours a week at $1 million an hour to make somebody's website. There's not that much time, So, but I can create infinitely. I can write things, I can make things, I can design things, it's infinite. It just never stops. It's never ever stopped my entire life. Ever. Except when I squish it in and go, shut up, stop doing that because I have to work. Right? And so that's this gaslighting thing that we've all been led to believe. It's backwards. We had it backwards. Let's flip it around and start with us. And it's not going to change tomorrow. You don't go quitting your job tomorrow and saying I'm going to paint all day, because you're gonna quickly hit a wall with that. You have to ease into this and figure out how this works for you. It's taken me a while to figure out how it works for me, and I'm going to keep talking about how it works so that we can all do it together. Okay? Where the hell was I? Wow. I think the thing went by. It's happening. I read that. So true. Yeah. Wow. You just explained. Yeah. Okay. That was Kelly. All right. I read that. Brandy, I gave up one of my dreams of being a dancer because my belief it didn't make money. Sad. Thankfully, I'm dancing again. Well, good. I'm very happy to hear that. That's wonderful. Yeah. I think we've all given up parts of dreams because it didn't make money, right? That really sucks to think about. But you know what? Here's another thing that I think about. We are ourselves for infinity time. And whether we got it right in this decade or not, a decade is like this compared to all of infinity. I think we have more chances to get it right. Kirsten, starving artist is what programming says we will be. Ooh, yeah, right? Oh my goodness, how many starving artists? The whole story of the person who goes to Hollywood to be a star, and there's like 1 in 10 trillion that do it. But Or we love to watch shows like American Idol. You know, people will be like, "Oh, you should go on American Idol. You're a good singer." I've never go on American Idol in a million years, because I never wanted to be. And that's just me, by the way. If you wanted to do it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it didn't fit me, because I didn't want to be beholden to somebody, and I didn't want to be in somebody else's model of music. It took me a long time to realize that I don't write pop music. I'm not a pop music singer. I write stuff that's kind of complicated and takes a few turns to listen to, and you know, the lyrics have some heavy meaning, at least I think. So I didn't fit in the model of the music industry, and that was hard when the model of the music industry was the only model. Luckily, eventually we got into this internet model where you could do anything you wanted to do. My dad is still here, very impressed. Cool, I'm really glad to hear. Brandy, 2020 reboot. Yes, I remember saying that. Kelly wrote an essay here. Let me read it. By the way, this fit. It used to be that if somebody wrote something really long, Ecamm would cut it off and I couldn't read the whole thing, but yours fit. Okay, good. Waiting until the time is right to create is like holding my breath while watching everyone else breathe. Abraham Hicks comes to, I love Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks comes to mind here, how she always says, you can't get it wrong and you'll never get it done. That's what I was just saying, right? It's like the past decade is like a blip in the form of eternity, you know? So what if you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old and you didn't get everything done that you want to do? That's nothing. There's more time. Maybe not in this body, but another one. My kid will never not want me around. My fiance will never not want my attention. And the house could always stand more cleaning. So if I'm trying to satisfy everyone and everything else, then I am just delaying my own satisfaction indefinitely. That certainly does not create the life I want to live. Sorry for the paragraphs. Yeah, you're booted. Too long of a paragraph. Okay, hey, note to self, kick Kelly out of the group. Okay, good. Amy, this is why I volunteer at Girl Guides. Get to teach arts and crafts to lots of kids that no longer get taught art at school. Great, that's pretty amazing. I'm happy to hear that. That's wonderful. Thank you. Blake, you raised an excellent son, Mr. Donahue. Danielle says, you're awesome. Thank you, Blake. You're awesome, man. Great to listen to. I needed to be around people who are passionate about what they do. You're like a coach. Yeah, you know, it's like that was one of the things I was just saying about the business. It's like this is something that I was struggling with. This is the model. Start a Facebook group and then like teach things and then say, oh, hey, if you want to learn more, hire me as your coach. And I was like, I don't want to be a coach. I'm a singer. I'm an artist. And I don't want to, you know, maybe I have things to teach, but I'm sure that there are a lot of artists that could join this group that have things to teach me too. And maybe it could just be a place where we share our experiences and share our work. And as soon as I hit on that about a week ago, it just has been booming for me. And it seems for many of you, and I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I can be a coach, but I don't want to be somebody's coach. I want to be what I am, and see that's the thing that was hard for me, because everybody that I talk to in business and like entrepreneur land is like, well, like here's the model of how you use a Facebook group to get clients, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, except I don't want clients. And so then they go, well, how are you gonna make money? And I go, I don't know, I'm gonna figure that part out. That part's happening. Don't worry about that. Aid says, it really is hard, but try and take money out of the equation. Would you rather make a fellow being feel loved and appreciated, or earn a few dollars that doesn't really do much benefit for our soul and our purpose to spread love? Okay, I understand the sentiment there, and I don't want to be confused. I'm not saying that we can't make money, and I'm not saying that I don't want to make money with doing this. I'm not just doing this because I love doing it, and I don't care if I never make another dollar. No, I want to make a lot of money doing this, but I had to decide, how do I want to make money doing this, rather than how do I do the thing that everyone says I should do, right? They're all saying, not you guys, but I'm in other groups that are for entrepreneurs and places where I learned how to run a Facebook group, and the model is start a Facebook group, teach them what they want to know, teach them a little bit of why it's important. But if they want the how to do it, they have to pay, right? That's kind of the general model. And I was like, I don't want to do that, because now people are going to pay me money and I got to spend time coaching them. And I don't want to do that. I want to sing. I want to be an artist. So I've been thinking to myself, is there a way to do it? Yeah, of course there is. I already make a TV show for kids that I get paid royalties for. I'll do that again, right? I've already made things where I get paid advertising dollars because sponsors want to put their brand on it. I'll do that. I don't need you to pay me money to coach you, because I have things that I can share and spread and have a huge audience for, that I could just get, commercial fees and royalty fees and things like that. I'd much rather do that. So I'm figuring out how to do that. Blake, love the garbage analogy. Really have to remember what I say. I don't remember the garbage analogy. To Blake, his mom was more influential. My mom passed away a few years ago, and she really was amazing. But they were both influential. You can take a little more credit than that, Dad. I do that in my customer service position. Kelly, I do that in my customer service position and with my coworkers already. I'm grateful for that opportunity. What do you do? Probably something based on what you said before. Wait, who was that, Kelly? All right, sorry, Kelly. I don't know what you did. Brandy says, I love this, Bobby. I'm opening my group and love coaching, but not going to do it the traditional way. I will just start. Brandy, that's really cool, because I didn't know where I was going with this. I just knew that I had to start. And the funny thing is, whoever was here 2 weeks ago when I opened the group, it had a different name and it was slightly more general. And I was just like, I don't know where I'm going with this thing. I just know that I'm going somewhere in this general direction, but I'm not sure exactly where yet. And I started it, and I did a couple of these daily fuels, and by the third one, I was like, oh, no, this is too general. It's this. But I could have hemmed and hawed for months trying to figure it out all by myself. But I just got it started, and bam, I figured it out like that, just a couple of days. So, wow, that's the last comment. This is a good one. This was fun. All right. Well, there's another one. Kelly, it was supposed to be a reply. I'm Facebook illiterate. Okay, no problem. Not a problem. It's really not your guys' fault, because what happens is I go through these things, and then somebody says something and I start riffing on it, and then somebody else makes another comment based on something I said 10 minutes ago, and I don't remember what the hell I said, because I don't pay attention to these things. They're stream of consciousness. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Wow, this was a good one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody being here and sticking around and hanging out. It's just it makes doing this so much fun. I really love it. I have so much that I'm creating that I want to share with all of you, and I would like to invite all of you to share what you're creating with us. Post images in the group, post videos into the group. The only thing I ask is don't link to YouTube videos. Don't don't link to YouTube videos or blogs or anything off of Facebook, because Facebook goes like, you can't link off of Facebook. We can't have people leaving Facebook. And then they kind of squash the group down in the algorithm, and then people can't find it. And that's bad. So if you have a video, don't link to YouTube. Post the video right into the group. And the other thing I ask is don't share posts from your profile or your page, especially your page, because that just invites the spammers to start doing that all day, every day. And then my job becomes deleting posts from spammers, and I don't want to do that. Nobody here has been spamming at all. A couple of people have posted things that I've asked them repost it this way, and you have. And other than that, you guys are just amazing. But there are people that will join the group and get in here that will see a page post here and a page post there and think it just is a free for all to just start dumping page posts in here, and then the group loses its value, and I don't want to do that to you guys. Have a great one, everyone. Okay, Blake is leaving. Love you, Bob. I love you too, Dad. And Brandy says thank you, and Danielle says thanks. And all right, that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna leave. Go breathe a little bit. Okay, have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.